going to wait for a countdown. Well, good evening, everybody. It is fantastic to be with those who are here in the room, as well as the many people who are online as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. I just wanted to, first of all, welcome you to Flinders here, Flinders University at Tonsley, as well as our New Venture Institute. And for those who are online, welcome from wherever you are viewing. I'm not quite sure where I'm looking to say that. I'm up there. Okay. Welcome to those online as well. I'd just like to take the opportunity before we progress to acknowledge the land on which we meet. Particularly here, we acknowledge the Kaurna people, which is the land which we meet for this broadcast, but I know that there are many people across the state, possibly further, who are streaming in today, and for those people, I also want to acknowledge the lands on which you are meeting too. And I acknowledge the traditional custodians of those lands and pay respect to the spiritual connections that they have with those lands, and pay particular respect to leaders past, present and emerging. And for any of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers and those who are in the room, I extend this respect to you as well. So, we are here tonight to celebrate some fantastic achievements by a range of individuals, both those who have participated through programs and also those who have mentored many of our participants in helping them achieve the goals and successes that they have achieved and also that continue to work to. At Flinders NVI, we are about connecting communities to create value that makes lasting positive impacts, and those positive impacts to be lasting for the communities in which everyone works, but also for the world. We don't set our goals low, we set them very high. Tonight is an example of much of that work. It's an example of the fantastic things that people are achieving, the positive outcomes and the positive connections that many people have made through being involved in a variety of ways with Flinders University and NVI. We all know the last 12 months have brought about a range of challenges that we may not have expected, we could never have predicted, but it has been truly fantastic just seeing what we talk about, that agility in action, people responding to change that can't be necessarily predicted, and taking on those challenges with open arms and open eyes to give everything a go. So many people came together to walk the journey together last year, and many of those people you're going to be hearing from tonight, and those people watching online as well. It is fantastic to celebrate all that has been achieved over the last 12 months. In particular, I actually just want to acknowledge the team from NVI and our mentors in actually helping the success of many of our programs. Particularly, last year we ran 3 Venture Dawn programs. We ran a Metro, a Barossa-Yorke-Mid North, and we also ran our first ever statewide Venture Dawn. Now, what was different about this is that we needed to do that online, and everyone adapted to that environment with great positivity, even though there were challenges. Everyone did an amazing job. We had 50 people go through those 3 programs in particular just last year. We also ran one of our Innovation Manufacturing Accelerator programs, which included a range of startup businesses from our Supporting Innovation in South Australia visa cohort, so CISA visas. We are so proud to have a number of the state's CISA visa holders here associated with NVI. In fact, I think it's about 70 to 75% of all the CISA visa holders in the state are actually linked with NVI. We have a number of those international entrepreneurs here in this room, joining us online and also joining us later for those who can stay around for some networking too. There have been achievements across the state. We have a brilliant entrepreneurial facilitator service that happens out of Barossa-Yorke-Mid North, and I know there are people in this room and people online who have benefited from the great work of Dee throughout those regions. We also have fantastic activities and a broad range of activities that are happening in our Limestone Coast footprint as well. We have strong relationships with a number of key stakeholders in that region, particularly Mount Gambier High School as an entrepreneurial specialist school, and have been instrumental in the collaboration of delivering those entrepreneurial education initiatives with that school. Mount Gambier High School is the most regional school that is an entrepreneurial specialist school in this state. We have great collaborations with Waibird in Limestone Coast as well, which is the Women in Business and Regional Development, and it's fantastic to collaborate with them on a range of initiatives for the region, plus many more initiatives as well. We've also been hosting a range of high schools across the metropolitan Adelaide area to visit here to our Tonsley site and be part of this broader Tonsley community. I know a few people, it's the first time at Tonsley in person, and I welcome everyone. If you get a chance, please just let us know. We'll open our arms to welcome you to Tonsley so you can see the fantastic things that are happening in this space. It really is an exciting, innovative and progressive space to be based in, to walk around and to hear about and see the amazing achievements that are happening in this precinct. I know there are also great representations of that precinct here in the room, plus also online, of fantastic entrepreneurial and innovative outcomes that are happening for our state, which is reaching the world. So congratulations to you all. We currently have here in our NVI space here at Tonsley 30 startup businesses, and we have seen some recent developments with some of our businesses getting so big that they're actually growing out of the space. And we encourage and congratulate those businesses, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to work with people and partner with people to help each and every one succeed and achieve what they aspire to achieve. Why are we here tonight? Well, we are here to celebrate everyone in the room, everyone online, and really spend just a moment to congratulate everyone on what they have achieved in the last 12 months. Thank those who have stood alongside them and walked alongside them through a variety of different ways through our programs and through the broader entrepreneurial community. It is a great community to be part of. We are here to thank those who support it, to celebrate those who have been through it, and to join together as we all live it. That's what we're here to do. And tonight we're going to be hearing from 5 of our participants. We're going to be hearing from the winners of our Venture Dorm Barossa-Yorke-Mid North. You might hear it called BYMN. That's what that acronym stands for. We're going to be hearing from Anthony Maibus from Silverbark Brewery, who's the winner of BYMN Venture Dorm. The co-winner of Venture Dorm for BYMN is Tara Kate with Arts Therapy. She is also going to be pitching tonight. We also have our 3 winners from our Venture Dorm statewide. Arta Bassoni from Shedmate, Domenica De Crea Telile, and Emma Wallace from Lytopia. Did I say that right? Fantastic. I have had the pleasure of actually hearing these pictures, and I cannot wait for you all to hear them as well. For anyone who wants to get in contact with them, you can find out information on the stream. We also have, for those that are in the room, we have a brilliant chat box upstairs that you can actually do a touch screen to find out more with contact details. But we want to connect our community with our broader community, and that's what we're here to do tonight. I'm pretty confident you don't want to hear me talking any longer. That's not what we're here to do. We are here to hear. We are here to see and hear and witness the great achievements from many of our participants, particularly our winners from Venture Dorm statewide and BYMN. I'll come back at the end of the pitch session. You'll see Kat from our MVI team will pop up in between each of the pitches, which will help in the streaming process and for everyone in the room in knowing what's going on. But without any further ado, let's get this great opportunity from these great aspiring, growing and succeeding entrepreneurs, and let's pass it over to them. And Kat, I'll pass it over to you now. Thank you.
It was off. Thank you very much, Verity. Just good evening to everyone, and thank you all for coming tonight, and everyone online as well. It's so great to see people in the room. Look, Verity pretty much covered everything that I needed to say, I wanted to say, and more, but that's okay. I just wanted to thank everyone for putting in the effort last year. I know last year was quite hard, and in 2020 we've had to make a whole bunch of changes, and for our startups and our venture donors who have taken the time and decided to push through a very difficult year, congratulations, and hopefully 2021 will be a lot better. I will not take up more of your time, but I would like to introduce the first pitcher for tonight, Tara, from Immersive Art Experience. Tara?
Hi, everyone. Do I press the middle button? Awesome. Once upon a time, a young girl discovered art as a tool for expression. Uh-oh. And then pressed the wrong button. Thank you. She found so much joy in it that she turned her bedroom into an art shop and stuck letterboxes to the other rooms in the house so she could share her creativity with her family. She found, oh, there we go. I was going to read the same one. You don't need that. As she got older, she studied visual arts and design. Some of her lecturers got a bit frustrated because she didn't really stick to a design approach to her processes. Her focus was naturally on the actual process of creating, being in the moment and exploring the surprises that came from being spontaneous. Years later, while working in aged care, she noticed that the activities being provided to residents often lacked meaning and were offered to pass the time rather than embrace it. So she started designing art programs for people living with dementia. During this time, she witnessed people who couldn't remember drinking a cup of tea moments earlier recognise their own artwork hanging on the wall a week later. That is when her therapeutic arts journey began. Fast forward to today, and now she has a family member who is living in an aged care facility. He is in the latest stages of early onset dementia. She notices that the food being provided to residents sometimes lacks diversity and is offered to fill the stomach rather than experience it. She's also noticed that by living in a busy world that can often feel overwhelming at times, we often don't even take the time to truly taste and experience what we eat and drink. She's started to wonder how art and food can work together to help. Hi, I'm Tara Kate. I'm the founder of Tara Kate Arts Therapy SA, and I'm an expressive artist and transpersonal art therapist and facilitator, believe it or not. I'm the current tier member of ANZACADA, which is the peak professional body that represents creative arts therapists in Australia. I'm currently undertaking a scholarship in a Masters in Therapeutic Arts Practice, which will enable me to become the first registered arts therapist in the Barossa. I've designed and facilitated many diverse art experiences over the last 6 years, working with people living with disability and mental health issues, as well as the elderly and young people. With 20% of Australians aged 16 to 85 experiencing a mental illness in any year, the need for connection seems to be even more important, and that's where I believe creativity can come in. I believe creativity is an important part of people's lives. However, often we put it on the back burner, think it's a waste of time, or we're scared of what people might think. when we think about it, art is in our everyday lives, when we cook, when we do gardening, when we sing, dance, or write. So what is art therapy? It's a model of psychotherapy that encourages self-expression to facilitate healing and growth. And it involves using various art materials such as painting, mixed media, drawing, or clay work, specific to the client's journey and goals. And what about food? You know when you smell or taste something and it immediately reminds you of something or makes you feel something, or you can't quite put your finger on it? Sense actually goes straight to the smell centre of the brain, which is directly connected to the amygdala, the area of the brain that gives us the ability to feel certain emotions and perceive them in other people. It also heads to the area that has a major role in learning and memory. This is why the smell of something might immediately create a memory or emotion and a connection with the experiences of others. Imagine how much of this we actually process every day. It's intricate experiences like these that often go unnoticed. So I've decided to combine these two concepts by engaging with local producers to explore local produce and the senses through creativity. Not only can this provide a mindful approach to consumption and benefit the environment, it can help to connect with a sense of place, promote local business, well-being, and help people to realise that creativity is a part of everyday life and everyone has a right to embrace that. So what do these experiences look like? Well, first I turn heads as I enter the premises with a colourful art bus, but I'll explain more on that later. So for example, we might be using a cheese tasting, and I might give the participants 3 cheeses and 3 pieces of paper or surfaces. And then I'll guide each participant to really slow down and become in a mindful state, and then exploring the senses. So what kind of sensory experience are they having with the cheese, whether it's smell, what do they smell, what would that look like on the page? What would it feel like? What kind of materials would you use and how would that feel? What would the taste look like? Does it have a sound when you eat it? So exploring those sensory elements and then putting those representations out on the page to kind of deepen the experience. So I have a crazy amount of ideas for this concept, but I know that I can only do one thing at a time. Taste, Sense, Create are experiences that can engage the community and tourism within the regional hospitality space, promoting wellbeing connection to culture, making memories and supporting local produce. I've already begun collaborating with local makers and would love to make more connections to see where I can take this idea. It would be amazing to have some research done on the effects of these kinds of experiences on memory and whether I could access funding to roll out the concept in aged care facilities, for example. And as you can imagine, this can be offered in a big variety of settings with a huge variety of products and people. With over 200 cellar doors, close to 300 aged care facilities, and more than 100 community centres in South Australia, it has so much potential for growth in the Barossa and beyond, but there is only one of me. And I know I said I needed to focus on one thing at a time, but I can't leave the bus out of this. So part of my broader vision is to engage the community with a creativity bus, and it will be used to store all the art materials and have the ability to be set up at regional events and tours. Think like a food truck, but with art. And it'll be something that I'll need to acquire funding to purchase, as I would like to engage local artists and community to paint the bus as a community project to offer a sense of belonging and community connection. I'm currently trialling the concept with local Barossa producers, so please check out my showcase chatbot for some details on upcoming workshops. I've got one this weekend, which is exploring fruit with children at Barossa Farmers Market, so exploring all those sensory elements of the fruit and then expressing that through creativity. And then I've also got, and that's in collaboration with a local business, Trevally Orchard. And then in 2 weeks' time, I'm collaborating with a gin distillery, Barossa Gin Distillery, and we're doing a similar concept with adults exploring gin. So feel free to check out those channels too. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Tara. I'll take that. And next up, we have Anthony Maibus from Silverbark Brewery.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Anthony from Silverbark Brewery in Mount Barker in the beautiful Adelaide Hills. We're family owned and operated, and everyone gets involved. I've always had a fascination with beer. The process, the ingredients, how it all goes together. And this has captivated me for the past 19 years. I love the way we use a majority of local SA ingredients, including some of our own hops grown on site and Barossa Valley malt. But where did it all start? For me, it was with a homebrew kit for my 21st birthday. But I got a bit bored with this. I really wanted a challenge. And I was a bit disappointed with the results too. I really wanted to emulate those beers from Europe and across the world, and I just couldn't quite get there with those kits. And the fascination grew. For years, I was on a quest to taste as many beers as I could from all around the world. Whenever we went on holidays, if there was a brewery nearby, we were there, tasting the beers, chatting to the brewers, anyone we could to find out more about how it was done. Across Australia, New Zealand, Europe, if there was a brewery, we were there. I was inspired by many of these breweries, but I was also a little bit disappointed too, and I'll touch on that a bit later. So I started researching the brewing process. I thought, how hard can it be? So I started with small batches on the kitchen stove, and then a few months later, I designed and built my first all-grain brewery. Pretty soon, I was making some pretty good beers. In 2013, we moved to Mount Barker. Bigger house, bigger yard, room for a bigger brewery, bigger hop yard, more fun, more beer. In 2017, I thought, why not? Let's have a go. Get a label, get a brand, see where it takes us. I still use my brewery I built myself, as you can see there. It's pretty basic, pretty simple, but being home-based has to be a bit small at the moment. And it works. It makes some pretty good beers. I still get a buzz from how simple beer is. Pretty basic ingredients. Hops, water, malt, yeast. Yet make a little change to any of these ingredients and the results can be just massively different. And that's what really excites me. The possibilities are endless with beer. You can change one little thing, totally different, and just keep experimenting and see what happens. And we've done pretty well. Our customer base continues to grow. We're always looking for more. And we've even started doing some contract brews for some local breweries and a local distiller as well. So we've achieved quite a lot with a pretty basic setup in our backyard in Mount Barker. But we want to offer more. We want to share it with more people. And being in a residential area, we're a bit limited in what we can do. So we need a bigger space. We need to get out and really show what we can do. So what does our dream look like? You might say, yeah, I've been there, I've been to breweries, they're all the same. I mentioned being disappointed earlier, and you probably might have been as well. You go to a brewery, maybe there's no brewery on site, or you can't see the brewery. You lose that experience. I go to breweries to see what they're doing, how they're doing it, And that's always been a bit of a letdown. Or maybe you've gone to a really nice place, but there's no space for the kids, they're bored, you can't enjoy yourself, you can't relax. We get it. So we're not just going to be another microbrewery. We want to take our guests on a journey. The brewery will be the focus, but it'll have something for everybody. Take in the views of the brewery, we'll sit outside, enjoy the countryside, view the hop yard, watch the kids run around and have fun. We'll offer a truly unique microbrewery experience. And we'll also strive for sustainability. After each brew, our malt and hops are either fed to stock or composted for use in our hop yard. We only use filtered rainwater for our beers, and the new site will have a significant water storage, as well as a significant solar and battery system on the new place, so we can be as unreliant on the grid as possible. And maybe we'll even put a Tesla charging station in, who knows? So why is our dream viable? How do we get there? Well, Mount Barker's growing a lot, as you probably know. Current population is just under 40,000, predicting more than 56,000 within 15 years. And there's a big group of people moving to the area in the sort of 25 to 45 age bracket, young families. And we've already met a number of these at markets and other places who are really keen on breweries and trying something new and getting out with a family. So I think there's some great opportunities there. And I'll talk about opportunities. There's only a handful of breweries in the Adelaide Hills. None really offer what we will offer. Some offer some and others offer other, but we're looking to offer a full experience and a different and a new experience. And a bit like wineries, breweries tend to feed off each other. So if you've got a group of breweries in an area, people can spend a day, go and visit a few. And we get lots of inquiries for bus tours, but we have to turn them away. Like, I'm only licensed for 10 people, so there's a real opportunity there as well. So a quick overview of our roadmap. We're currently working with some architects, working on a bit of a pre-design, so we can then head into a pre-approval process. We're looking for some land. When we find that land, we need to be able to jump on it, do a design, get development approval before we can actually acquire the land. So that's what we've just kicked off now. Might take a little while till we find something, but we've got to start. And all going well, by next year we'll build the first section of the brewery, hop yard and tap room on our new site. And this site will also be where we'll ultimately live as well. So it'll be our family space where people can come and visit. So what am I basing this on? So these projections are based on our current growth. Some of the numbers are obviously a guess, but based on where we're heading, on sales, on costs, predicted manufacturing volumes, that kind of thing. Obviously they'll change depending on where we're at. So some of those figures change in 2023, and that's assuming we've got our new space so we can offer a lot more throughput, a lot more customers coming to us that we can't offer now. So not just reliant on wholesale and retail that we pretty much are now. Hence why there's some figures changing there. And another bit of a summary there. So a bit of a breakdown on our expected expenditure over the next few years. So there's a few equipment, loan, architects, that kind of thing that we're sort of working through at the moment. But we've got some really exciting times ahead. Keep an eye out for us on our social networks. And we really look forward to welcoming you to the Silverbutt Brewery, Hop Farm and Tap Room soon. And feel free to get in touch by any of these means. And thanks for listening. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Anthony. I'm sure we all love a good brewery. Next up, we have Arthur Bissoni from Shedmate. Arthur, when you're ready.
Hello, can you hear me? All good? Okay, thank you. It's hard to talk about sheds when you just heard about beers, right? But I'm gonna do my best. Good evening, everyone. My name is Arthur Bissoni. I'm a civil engineer passionate about marketing and management. And in everything that I do, I believe in the power of connecting people to seek improvements in all areas. And I think that's why we're here, right? To connect and to learn. And today, I would like to present our venture that's ShedMate. And basically, our vision is to disrupt the construction industry, making modular construction cheaper and more accessible. And our purpose is to use generative design to do that. And this can be a hard term, but I'm going to explain in the process. So basically, who here has a shed? Yeah, almost everyone has a shed. So basically, a shed design, as you might know, can take from days to months. What's the process? Basically, you go to a shed builder, you have those endless meetings, and then you go back to your partner, and they say, no, we should make a bigger shed, or let's save money. And then you need to create another design. And for us, who are there changing things in our programs, this is very frustrating because we need to change things all over again. And it's a tedious process. It costs a lot, and there's a lot of miscommunication in this process. And especially in the regional areas, where we are based, by the way, we're based in Mount Gambier, there is a lack of professionals to do this. They are very expensive, and sometimes it's hard for the shed builders to get good people. And this is generally our frustration when we get to do those changes. This is Bess. He's a border collie who works with us, and whenever a client changes their minds, he appears in the office and says, okay, guys, we need to change this shed, and this is what Tiago and myself used to do. All right, let's do that again. And then we started looking for solutions. There are some solutions out there, but they are too technical or they are too simple. When I say too technical, I mean that we need someone that's an engineer like myself or Tiago to go there and do everything. Or they are too basic, like this one, in which you can basically go there and design your shed, but there is not technical data. And we wanted to create something that would link both worlds. And we thought, hey, what if we could save up to 80% of this time used to design, document, and quote a construction project? This would be great, right? Not only for us, because we could have time to come to Adelaide, but also for the shed builders, because they're going to make a lot more money. And for the shed owner, it's good too, because it's a streamlined process. And then it comes ShedMate for shed builders. So basically, our idea is this. You start by typing your address, and then you can go to our platform that's, by the way, it's already working. You can go to our website, shedmate.com.au, and play around with this. And then you can draw your block boundaries, your shed, your vegetation, everything that you have in your block. And then there will be another interface in which you can actually design your shed. And when I say design, you basically put parameters, like what's the length, what's the height, how many sliding doors do I need? How many roller doors? And then the program will do all of the technical part in the background, and then you have your design ready. And by using generative design, we can ask the computers to run thousands of simulations and have different prototypes like these ones. Let's say they have the same area, but they have different shapes, and the prices, they can be different. So the software can show you multiple options, and then you can select which one you want. So you start to co-create with the computer, because you do part of the work, you input the parameters, and the computer will create a lot of options for you. And at the end of the process, you press a button, and you have all of your construction data ready for council approval. And this is what we are doing at this stage. Some advantages for shed builders. Basically, we are able to save up to 80% of the design time using this process. There is less human errors and a more objective quality assurance and control, because the computer does that, so it's hard to make mistakes, right? And then the shed builders, they are able to close more deals, because since we are empowering anyone, like even our sales team, to use this tool, this feature, they can close more deals. They can put anyone actually in the job, train them in a really quick manner, and then they can start selling sheds. In terms of our viability, okay, we have done some analysis, and there is some here from the number of shed builders we have in Australia. Only in Australia, we have almost 3,000 shed builders. If we can get 5% of this market, we can get around $120,000 a month. That's what we're getting from some of our research. And then using our costs and everything you need to spend money on, we can foresee a profit of $900,000 a year just with this prototype that we have, but we are running others to pivot to other directions. There is a lot of sheds who were done by ShedMate already in the States, not only in South Australia, but in Victoria. Currently, we got 483 sheds designed with ShedMate so far. And last year, we presented this technology that we are creating at the Autodesk University in Las Vegas. And we were one of the most highlighted cases. So it's really nice to have this, and people are using it. It's getting some traction. And obviously, there is a lot to be done. And in terms of the opportunities out there, the technology we uses cloud computing, data delivery, what's a very good candidate for the Industry 4.0 needs. When we talk about AI, parametric and generative design, IoT, big data, so we can always go through these directions to make it even better. So this is a bit about our team. Myself, co-founder, and Thiago, who is seated right there. We're both civil engineers, and it's our 3rd year in Australia now. We are originally from Brazil. We moved here to work in this shed builder company, and then we started understanding all of the pains that they were facing and started to develop some solutions to create a better project in the end. And basically, this is it. Next time you want to build a shed, ask if they are using ShedMate, because it's going to make your life easier, and they're going to have a better process for you. And you can try it for free in our website. We have a beta version there. You just need to go to shedmate.com.au, and you can play around with this. It's pretty cool. And basically, this is it. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Anyone had a little vision of your Sims design came up on the high-end set? No? Thank you very much, Arthur. We have Domenica from Telelay next. Domenica, when you're ready.
Sure. And again. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, or this evening, rather. As shared, my name is Domenica, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Telelay, an early-stage startup based in Singapore. Today, I'm here to talk to you about how we're bridging the deaf and the hearing worlds. So to start with, the problem that we're solving is that currently in Asia, deaf and hard of hearing people living in 44 out of the 48 countries have no telecommunication access, which means they literally can't make a phone call with the supports and services that they need. The supports and services that they do need, such as sign language interpreters, they're either not available, they're expensive, or they're not available in real time or on a regular basis. I want to walk you guys through some everyday scenarios faced by deaf and hard of hearing people living in Singapore. These have been given to us from them, and hopefully I can create a bit of a picture for you guys about the challenge and the problem that we're trying to solve. So this is somebody that wanted to contact an electricity service centre because their power had gone out. And as you can see, the only option they had was to make a phone call. Someone wanted to skip a queue at a government service. Why not? But the only option they had was to make a phone call. Someone wanted to report a security threat. The only option that they had was to make a phone call. Someone wanted to get emergency ambulance and campus security services. The only option that they had was to make a phone call. Someone had a transaction on their bank account they had no idea about. The only option they had was to make a phone call. Someone wanted to help someone trapped in a lift. The only option they had was to make a phone call. Somebody was trying to apply for a job interview for a measly salary, mind you, and the only option they had for their first interview was to make a phone call. And someone wanted some core emotional and psychological supports during a pandemic, which is pretty reasonable if you ask me, but the only option they had was to make a phone call. And you could imagine in today's environment with COVID, the challenges for deaf and hard of hearing people, if you just really look at the environment that we're existing in, has only exacerbated this challenge. Lip reading is something that deaf and hard of hearing people rely on heavily to communicate with the hearing world, but with masks, that creates just another barrier. And same for digital communications. They're not inclusive and they're not accessible for deaf and hard of hearing people. So, the issue that we have is, like you and I, Deaf and hard of hearing people have a right to communication and equal access, but the reality is for those who live in countries that don't have the supports that they need, they face significant social, political and economic exclusion and isolation as a result. And luckily, we have developed a very simple solution to help the deaf and hard of hearing community with this challenge. And it's really simple. Telelay is an app that connects deaf and hard of hearing individuals with online communication assistance in real time using a range of communication tools. And that enables our communication assistants to help deaf and hard of hearing people make phone calls in real time or communicate with the hearing community anytime and anywhere. So here's a little snapshot of Telelay. This is the interface of a video call between an individual who is deaf and one of our sign language interpreters. With Telelay, deaf and hard of hearing people can sign up and pay for this service through the app. They can dial any number, they'll get real-time assistance. There's the human touch, because the technology cannot support deaf and hard of hearing people in its totality just yet. We have video relay so that deaf people can connect with sign language interpreters in real time. We have caption relay for hard of hearing people. That means they can actually get a caption of their conversation in real time and both read and hear their call. And it really is designed to be a one-stop shop for communication. At the moment, deaf and hard of hearing people often use a range of tools to communicate. So WhatsApp, Otto AI, lots of different solutions across multiple different platforms. We just want to bring it all into the one spot for them. There's 366 million deaf and hard of hearing people globally. 49% of that population reside in Asia, which is why we're starting there. 550% is the deaf and hard of hearing population in Singapore, which is our launch and testing ground for Telelay. But we do have goals and ambitions to roll this right out across Asia and help support that 170 million. There's roughly only about 30 countries globally that have a relay service for deaf and hard of hearing people, so we also have global expansion potential as well. Our business model is based on a subscription. We have 3 very simple plans available. The more you pay, the more access that you get. And we target businesses and government as well. I showed you earlier, their customer service channels, they're not inclusive or accessible. So that's a problem that we aim to solve as well. So what's unique about us? We're user-friendly, we're accessible. There's a range of tools available so that our users can really tailor their communication needs. In the future, we aim to expand out of deaf and hard of hearing individuals and into other and varied disabilities as well. Our users can get communication access anytime, anywhere, and our interpreters can earn money online anytime and anywhere as well. Our workforce model is that we'll have a small full-time team of communication assistants, but we'll also top up with gig workers so we can keep it flexible and also asset light. So a little bit about me and a little bit about us. My background is in business leadership. I've spent the last 10 years working in B2B media and comms across Southeast Asia, Australia and New Zealand. I've worked in many different industries, but I've worked in disability for the last 6 years and have done advocacy in Australia for disability. I still do advocacy for disability in Australia, but my career eventually took me to Asia for the last 4 years where I learnt about this challenge and where I met Elin, who is my co-founder. And a sign language interpreter based in Singapore. Elin also has a background in drawing a mental blank, what's it called? Special education. She was a special ed teacher for many years and has also done significant disability advocacy in Singapore. And our CTO and head of product, Ambrose, he spent a good 8 years as the head of mobile development for Hotels Combined. And he's also worked for the biggest disability tech startup in Australia as well. So between us, we should be able to get the job done. A little bit about the journey that we've been on. Look, we are still early stages, but we've been on a pretty big journey and we've had a lot of wins along the way so far. Telelay was born at a social innovation hackathon. We didn't win, we came in the top 10, but they gave us prize money anyway, for whatever crazy reason. No, they felt that what we were developing was practical and grounded. So they wanted to see us, the funders wanted to see us bring that to life. So that gave us the ability to build a prototype and really validate the idea. We went on, we got accepted to participate in a government-recognised accelerator program in Singapore, incubator program. We won a bit more money there that enabled us to kind of keep moving. Then the government accelerator program, where we were given a grant from the Singapore government that has enabled us to build our MVP, which we are currently building if COVID will let us get that job done and stop interrupting us with many challenges. But we are due to launch our MVP within the next month, and from that go on our journey to really build our early traction for users. Late last year as well, some good recognition that I received from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. I was recognised as one of the top 20 social entrepreneurs in Australia and ASEAN for the efforts that we are doing for Atelier, and that's from the Australian ASEAN Council within the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, which is, as you could imagine, given us some really good doors into the ASEAN market. So watch this space. Thank you all so much for listening today. I'm very excited to be here and look forward to connecting with you all after the presentation. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Domenica. As a Singaporean, every time I listen to this pitch, I feel very hopeful and very attacked. Our next, and lucky last, we have Emma Wallace from Lytopia. Emma?
Thank you. Oh, hello. Hi, everyone. My name's Emma, and I'm the founder of Lytopia. 2020 was a tough year for all of us. We experienced social isolation. Students and workers had to work and study at home. Holidays were cancelled. Stress was an all-time high. Cabin fever set in, and online spending went up. People were buying anything they could to escape, from books, movies, computer games, media, virtual reality headsets. And it was with virtual reality headsets. Virtual reality is a fast-growing industry, but at present, there are minimal programs relating to literature. Lytopia was conceived during this time, a virtual reality app that allows you to immerse in a bookstore and escape to worlds away from home. It was with this gap noted, sorry, I've messed that one up. It was with the gap noted about the virtual reality that we started on our journey. Sorry, guys. This is some stills of our first MVP aimed at children. We took a sample of the book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and we created this rudimentary, non-threatening world, bright and vibrant, a book that many can relate to, and we brought it to life. We trialled this on 5 to 14-year-olds, and what we found was the 5 to 8-year-olds, they struggled to understand or work the technology, and the 9 to 14-year-olds, they were just, there was nothing for them to shoot at, basically. So we went back to the drawing board to reassess our demographic, and with industry research and trialling this on late teens to older adults, we found our ideal age group was between 24 and 35 years of age, but not ruling out late teens. And those most interested were readers, naturally, and those just in need of relaxation and escapism. So we pivoted. We looked for a book, a classic, something that this age group would appreciate, something growing in popularity, and we found Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I'm not sure if anyone's a fan here or if anyone has read that book series. Very good. We also had further inspiration. And we thought, wouldn't it be fantastic to not only read the book in an environment, but for the environment to be one of the locations from the book, such as the Culloden battlefields in Scotland. So we decided to make a proof of concept. We collaborated with a photographer in Scotland, and he went out for the day and he captured this remarkable landscape. And this landscape became the basis of our next iteration. At present, we're working on the foundation, which is the bookshop itself. This is where the users will be able to purchase their books and enter into their immersive worlds. And these are just some stills of what we're working with at the moment. And I guess the most exciting part about this is that the imagination is limitless and the possibilities are endless. And we can enjoy this all in the comfort of our own home. At present, Lytopia has minimal overheads. The only variable costs that we endure are the worlds themselves, which varies between $900 to $2,000, but this does depend on the complexity of the world. We estimate the Lytopia, we estimate the Lytopia will be available to just over 1 million users on the Oculus and Steam's global platforms, and this number is rising. The average conversion rate of these platforms is 15%. That's the views to product sales. So when we applied this to Lytopia, this gave us about 152,000 future users in our first year. When we add $10 as the cost for the app, this actually gives us just over $1.5 million of revenue for the first year. And we estimate that our growth rate will be about 5.2% when looking at the average of our competitors. The publishers that we have approached have shown interest in Lytopia being a distributor on this new platform, which is exciting. The actual distributor charge is to be negotiated, but the industry average is about 35 to 70% per book. At present, this year, we're hoping to complete this iteration of Lytopia and to launch this product. We're also looking at acquiring hardware to try and reduce the cost of the world creations. Over the next couple of years, we're looking at expanding on our content, expanding on our team, and also expanding into other areas such as healthcare, schools, and libraries. We're looking at advertising on our website, on social media, on the platforms themselves, and also with the publishers that we collaborate with. At present, we haven't been advertising because we were applying for our IP. At the moment, that is still pending. This is the team that's helping us to get there. We've got Alex, Laura, and Ethan, who are lateral vision developers, and their backgrounds in AR and VR. We have Brad, who's lucky sitting in our audience at the moment, and he has a background in healthcare, but also in 3D modeling, and also has a keen interest in VR as well. There is myself with a keen interest in VR. I'm definitely an avid reader for all of you out there. Background in healthcare, and also definitely many years of customer relations. And I have added Rod Smith, my mentor from the Venture Dawn program. His insight and dedication was invaluable during this, and he really helped us a lot. But I also wanted to give a special mention to Kat and Bert as well for their guidance during this program in helping us to refine Lytopia. Thank you for your time.
This might be a bit easier. Thank you, Emma, and thank you all of our Venture Dawn pitches, from those from the statewide program, for those from our Barossa-Yorke-Mid North program as well. It is really inspiring to see the diversity of what has been pitched today. And these are just some of the many people that have taken the journey of thinking about pushing their ideas to reality. And it is great that we get to celebrate you tonight. Can you join me again in congratulating all those who pitched this evening? And well done, because you can breathe now. And Emma finished by acknowledging her mentor, and that is the other reason we are here tonight, is that we have an amazing, fantastic and dedicated mentor community that we could not do what we do, and our entrepreneurs and innovators couldn't do what they do without your commitment, your contribution, the value you add, and the insights that you contribute on their journey. Tonight we are here to thank you for the hours that you've committed over the years, to acknowledge your innovation, your entrepreneurial commitment, your entrepreneurial experience and your fantastic dedication within our community. We could not do this, as I said, without you standing alongside our venture dormers, our innovative manufacturing accelerator participants, and our whole NVI community. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge those people in the room, plus those people online, and I do ask that everyone stands and gives each other a round of applause and thanks our mentors. Also, you know, the mentors are like, I'm not standing up. It's like, yes, yes. So tonight is about celebrating the successes of new innovations and those people who are pushing their boundaries when it comes to thinking about their innovative approaches to what they're doing. And for those communities who stand alongside them, and it's our mentor community that we look forward to collaborating with you as we continue to grow and continue to deliver opportunities for the state and more broader in the state to see the community of entrepreneurs and innovators continue to grow and develop and contribute to a growing community and to growing business opportunity. Well, I think we have just one final part to do, which is the acknowledgement of certificates before we go and celebrate and do some relaxation, be that in the room or if you're at home or in groups watching online, you might do that as well. So we're going to take this opportunity now to actually do the award and certificate presentations. I'm going to take my lead from Kat, who knows what's going on. I'd like to first of all ask Tara to move over this way, over here. I follow instructions very well. I'd like to congratulate Tara. Thank you so much and congratulations on your achievements. Next, we'd like to acknowledge and congratulate Anthony. Please come and join us. Thanks. And Domenica, congratulations. And Emma, come on down. I should have my VR headset to do this one. And last but not least, there's more. No, there's, and we've got some venture dormers here as well. These are for our bitch funders. So Arta, please come and join us. And we also have some venture dormers here in the room with us from our statewide program. We're going to acknowledge them with some certificates as well. Gula Kosak, have I said that correctly? Gula. I should note that there are a number of people who did the Venture Dorm statewide program that haven't actually met in person, and they're meeting for the first time tonight in person. It is amazing what has happened over this period of being online to being able to actually meet in person. Oh, I'm very, this is actually someone who works here at the university who I'm very proud has been through this program. Congratulations to Beth Lawrence. Okay, Natasha Nagel, come on down. And now I can say it's the official last one of those who are in the room. Henry, come on down. I will just make a note about Henry as he walks away. He's actually been here in Australia without his wife and child up until Saturday when they came. They arrived from Africa. No, well, they arrived from Malaysia 2 weeks ago and have been in quarantine until Saturday. He has been doing this program without the support of his family that whole time. And just recently, he has been awarded a great contract with eNVIsage to make the realisation of his light therapy room that he's doing in conjunction with eNVIsage. And that's all since he's been here and part of the NVI community. So congratulations, Henry. Well, that actually brings the official component of this evening to an end. And we get a chance now to actually converse in person here at a Tonsley site. And for those at home, I do hope you are celebrating. If you have someone to do a cheers with, we are really excited and really thank you for joining us online tonight. And we look forward to many, many more opportunities to celebrate great successes of entrepreneurship and innovation. Thank you and good night.